Welcome back, everybody. Well, you spoke and I listened. The music on the last video, I have no idea what's going wrong with it. I do have music running in the background of all my videos. It kind of adds a little bit of flavour, a little bit of depth to the video that it doesn't have if I don't add music to it. Even though it's really quiet in the background, you can't hear it, or you normally can't hear it. I quite like it being there. So I've always had it in the back of my videos, but like I say, for some reason, in the last video, it just became the dominating factor in all the videos, or in that particular video, and I really didn't like it. Now, I did spend some time writing down every single thing I said in the last video. And then when I came to doing the voiceover for this video, I realised it just sounded so stagnant and scripted, and I really don't want that for these videos. I want these videos to be natural. I want these videos to flow and be a little bit about me, a little bit about my personality, and you know what, just very natural. And yeah, having it scripted, it just didn't work. It just wasn't me. It was so robotic and flat. I hated it. So there may be some bits in the last video that won't make it across into this video. And there may be some bits in this video that weren't in the last one. Either way, it's going to be a whole new video. Same pictures, same images, same video, but just different me chatting away over the top to you. So without further ado, let's get on with take 2. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to a whole new cleaning, organising and decluttering video. Now, I laughed because it's not an all new video. As I said before, this is a re-upload of the video that I did before, just without the music, so you guys can hear it a bit clearer. I know some of you were struggling. Now, what I'm doing on the screen is the 6th of January. Now, I know Christmas decorations are supposed to come down on the 5th night, but we had planned to go down my sister's. Unfortunately, that lovely weather warning we got across the entire of the UK meant that we couldn't go. We erred on the side of caution, decided to stay at home. So literally that whole change of plans really, really upskittled me. And I just spent the entire Sunday sitting there in freeze mode and did nothing. So it is now the 6th of January and we're going to get these decorations taken down. I am going to remember to remove the batteries from all of the ornaments because that just is not fun. Getting to next year and realising, whoops, you forgot to take a battery out. Yeah, so all the batteries are coming out of the decorations. It actually has felt so good decluttering. I honestly didn't realise how much clutter and chaos really messes with your brain. It really does. And having this clean, it was clean. It's not now. I mean, honestly, being in a lived-in house, things get messy and untidy. But I cleaned this, and that night, I literally sat in my living room with just the little ambient lights, and we turned the big light off, and we had all the little sidey lights on, and I almost felt my brain sigh. It was the weirdest thing for ages. I always thought it was this house. It was us, wound up, tight, anxious. Just used to living in mess and chaos. And actually, once I decluttered, I realised, it's not just the way I am. I mean, I am an anxious person and there's a lot of issues going on with me. But to know that my environment was causing so much extra tension. People said it, and I always sort of tidied up, and I was like, well, the house is tidy now. Why am I not feeling any better? Tidy, yes. But for me, there's clean, there's tidy, and there's organised. Now, a clean home can be an untidy home. If everything's sterilised and neat, sterilised, it's clean, but it's not neat. Then there's a tidy home. Now, a tidy home can be a dirty home or a clean home. Everything's put away where it should be. There's nothing out, but there's germs all over the surfaces. Then there is an organised home where everything has a place and it's all tidy and put away. And then there's decluttering. Now, for me, that decluttering was the one that really hit home. Because behind all the cupboards and the drawers in this house, I knew, like in the back of my brain, it was full to bursting with nonsense stuff we didn't need. And it was occupying a lot of my brain. Taking it all out, decluttering, cleaning and organising meant that I had a tidy, clean and organised home. And for me, having the combination of all three is what really finally calmed the noise in my brain. I knew everything behind all the cupboard doors was clean and tidy. I knew that my surfaces were clean, like hygienically clean. I don't polish with like furniture polish. I damp dust with an antibacterial spray. So I knew all my surfaces were clean and sort of germ-free. I knew all my cupboards were tidy and organised. All my spaces were tidy and organised, so I could look around my living room and everything had a place. It was tidy and organised. So I had a clean, tidy, organised home. And yeah, it made a difference. Normally, I have a tidy home. Sometimes I have a clean, tidy home. But I never ever had a tidy and organised home. And now I do. And also, I tell you one thing it's made a massive difference with. I can now whip round the rooms I've done. So I've done the master bedroom, our room, and I've done the living room here. And as I'm filming this voiceover, I've actually got Alyssa's room done as well. So that will be a video coming very soon. Look out for that. I'm finding I can whip round very quickly and get these rooms ship shape again in a fraction of the time because everything has its home. I just pick it up, I know where it goes, and I pop it away. There are no more what they call doom boxes. Now, a doom boxes didn't organise, only moved box. I do have them. They're all in my dining room at the minute. You want to see my dining room? I'll film that as a short, actually, my dining room. As I go room to room and declutter, I don't want to run off to the dump or to the charity shops or to the clothing banks or anything like that multiple times because I'm going to get bored and I'm not going to do it. So what I've done is I've gone through every room and I've just piled it high in my dining room. My dining room is an unusable dumping space for everything that needs to go separate places. Now, it is going to be another video in the series with me finally clearing through everything and having it go to its designated locations. But like I say, I'm not doing that I'm not making 6 different runs to the tip. I'm not making 6 different runs to the charity shops because it's not going to happen, is it? I barely get the energy together to do it for one trip. So I'm literally going to load it all into the car in one day and I'm going to go tip, charity shop, back clothing banks and things like that and deposit everything where it needs to go. And then everything else can go out in the shed where it belongs. But it's even down to organised into individual boxes. I mean, here you can see that I'm packing the Christmas decorations away, right? Now, normally I would just pack up this room and then I'd go and clean, I don't know, one of the kids' rooms or something like that. And I would find a Christmas decoration randomly in their rooms and then would cry because all the decoration had been put back in the loft. I wasn't going in the loft. I couldn't persuade Dell to go back in the loft. So just Christmas decorations would sit in the house all year round. Now I've collected all the decorations from every single room because that's what I was working on at the time. And they've all gone in their boxes and they've all gone out to the shed, which means that I can go and get them because I cannot get in and out of that loft. I can barely get above the 3rd rung on the ladder before I freak out. Even if I get above the 3rd rung on the ladder, I couldn't pull myself into the loft. I just don't have the upper body strength for that. I could not and drag myself into the loft. It's just a no from me. So having it in the shed means if I do happen to find anything, I can run it straight out there. No problem. If I buy anything throughout the course of the year, I can also just run it out to the shed and pop it in there. Done. So much time and effort, and everything is organised. I also organised all my Halloween decorations, so they're done as well. And I organised the not incense, what are they called? Wax melts. Wax melts, yeah, I did them. All year I have this one box that's filled to bursting with wax melts. Now I love my wax melts, but I never go into that box because, oh God, which scent do I use? Then I got to rifle through and some of the boxes have popped open and there's little wax melt cubes everywhere and it's just, I can't bother with it. Well, what I did, the Christmas scents have gone in the Christmas boxes, the autumnal scents have gone in the autumnal boxes, and all I've got left in my wax melt box is the spring and summer scents, and also those scents that are very generalised. Like Alyssa got me some packs for Christmas that are like unwind, relax, energise, that sort of thing. So they don't specifically have like an autumn scent or a summer scent or anything like that. So I'm going to use those around the house during the course of the year and just sort of mix and match them. When I get a bit bored of summer scents, I might throw an unwind in, or when I get bored with the winter scents, I'm going to throw a relax in. You know, just mix and match with those wax melts. Oh, this box. Yep. I remember what I was talking about in the last video. This box I brought, right? And I didn't check. I brought 2 of them. This box was inside and I didn't check. And it had a broken bottom. So I got the glue out and thought, I'll fix that. It spurted out the top as soon as I took the lid off. It went all over my jeans. I literally had to hold my jeans away from my leg so it didn't stick to my leg. Now, thankfully, it's not super glue. I probably shouldn't be trusted with super glue. Dale ran and got a cloth and we cleaned the glue off of my leg before anything stuck to anything else. Oh, what a disaster. I got that glue all over my fingers. It was literally everywhere. I should probably only be trusted with Pritt stick at this point. Perhaps papier-mâché or paper-mâché. Isn't it supposed to be called papier-mâché? I've always called it paper-mâché. Either way, that's the sort of stuff I should be trusted with. You should never let me near super glue. I remember from the previous video as well, my Halloween decorations. I lost them, I misplaced them, and I tried to find boxes to put them into, and I'd run out of boxes. Turns out what had happened was I got confused. So I was looking for my Halloween decorations to put them out at Halloween. Couldn't find them. Not where I thought they were. Turns out I'd put my Halloween decorations in with my Christmas decorations. Don't know why I did that, but I did. So when we got the Christmas decorations down, all my Halloween decorations were there. I put up all the Christmas decorations and made the boxes for my Halloween decorations. Unfortunately, when it came to put the Christmas decorations back, I forgot again that I had my Halloween decorations there. So I had to run out urgently and get some more boxes to make sure I could separate Halloween and Christmas. Because that's the whole point of this cleaning, organising and decluttering video. I need separate boxes for Halloween, for Christmas, and for any other seasons I plan on decorating for in the future. Now, I always wanted to be one of these influencers, if you will, that decorated their home for each season. I wanted the house kitted out like one of those American movie-style homes with twinkle lights and decorations and the whole hog for Christmas. I wanted them done up to the nines for Halloween. I wanted Easter porch decor and the whole home to be Easter decorated. And every single Hallmark holiday they had, I wanted my home to be completely seasonally decorated. I'm going slightly off that idea for the moment because A, way too expensive, and B, I haven't got anywhere to store this massive amounts of seasonal decor. I'm going to have to kit the garden out with sheds just so I've got one for each season and I can fit it all in there. But C, I think I'm at C, I've lost my train of thought. Expense, places to keep it. Oh yeah, C, I can't even get the basics right. I have absolutely no eye for interior decorating. I don't. It's not something I'm not saying it so I can get a sympathy for it. It's just one of those things I'm not very good at. You know, each of us has that one thing that we're really terrible at, and interior decorating is mine. I want to be able to get the basics right. I want to pull up to my house and see a pretty garden, a nice, well-maintained, pretty garden with nice, maintained, trimmed hedges and flower beds. I then want to walk in and see a nice, cohesive, well put together, like entrance hall to my home, a dining room, living room. I want my whole home cozy, well put together and cohesive. Then I'll start concentrating on doing it up for each season. I do suspect it's going to cost us a small fortune to do up the whole house the way I want it and have it all completely cohesive. I got a quote for carpeting. Now that was underlaid carpet, gripper rods, door bars and fitting. £400. Now that's not a huge amount for the carpet I wanted, decent underlay, fitting and all those bits I just mentioned. That's not an awful lot of money. But when you don't have it, it may as well be £4,000, you know? So it is going to take quite a bit of money to get each room done up as I want it. Oh, look, yeah, I forgot. Dell helped me. Dell's been really quite productive and really quite helpful these last few days, weeks, helping me get stuff where it needs to go, carrying bits out. So yeah, we did manage to get it all out. This, I lay on the floor, I get restless leg syndrome. Oh, real bad. And the only way to stop it is to lay on the floor. So I grabbed the cushion cover. I know there's going to be comments, oh, that's disgusting, you lay on your floor with the sofa. Yes, I do. But then to be fair, the dog jumps all over the sofa too. So any germs that are on the floor are probably on the sofa anyway. So, you know, let's not all get too upset. But I lay on the floor. I lay on that sofa cushion. It stretches my back out lovely. And yeah, I chill on the floor and do my diamond art. I did have my dad's spare duvet. He only uses it when he comes to stay. Just to keep the draft off me because it gets very chilly on the floor this time of year. So I did take his cover off and wash that. Oh, the little spiders, they shed their skin. I'm very sensitive to the little hairs they have. It makes you itch like crazy. So I had to put it in their own bag so I didn't accidentally get any of the little hairs on me. And also I didn't want maybe the binman to end up with the little hairs on them. The skins are completely harmless. There's nothing on them that will hurt you. But those little hairs, like I say, I'm hypersensitive to them. So they were sealed in their own independent bag. So they can't cause anybody any harm if anybody is sensitive. I also wiped out the inside of the enclosure with a tissue. So I didn't spread those little hairs around the house. And I know we've gone off topic. We were talking about something else and then we moved on because I got distracted. But hey, that's just me. Let's roll with it because I can't remember where I was. So I've just watched the other video back to see what I was talking to you about in the last video. And apparently I'm talking to you about Dell taking the bins out. We do have 3 bins. We have a normal bin for landfill, we have a recycling bin, and we also have a cardboard and paper bin. So it's just running the 3 of those out there. For some reason, people like to play Jenga with our bins instead of just taking them out when they get full. I'm just as bad. I'm not blaming my family, but yeah, they just play Jenga with it. So Dell is helping me take those bins out there, guys, again. What else was I talking to you about? Oh, yeah, I remember now. On the bottom of this little unit is a little tub. I'm about to pick it up in just a second. There I go. In this little tub are springtails. Now, for those of you who don't keep reptiles or sort of strange exotic pets like I do, springtails are the clean-up crew for like enclosures, bioactive enclosures. They literally eat any unalive leaves or insects, anything like that. They literally clean up all the debris in there. So they are the cleaners and organisers of the bioactive tanks. Now, I will be getting my 2 bigger tanks at some point, so I'm keeping my own little colony of the springtail so I don't have to buy more when I increase the size of the tanks. Also, they kind of have a shelf life, especially if the tanks get too dry, because they like it not dry. I won't say the M word because people don't like the M word, but they like it not dry and they like it a little bit warm. So they are going to go up next to the tarantulas, kept nice and warm in there with a little heat mat. Although, to be fair, since we've had this heating fitted, we can't turn it off. So it's warm in the whole house anyway. These 2 drawers at the bottom, they were empty. I remember what I was talking to you about in the last video. These 2 videos, No, these two drawers at the bottom. I've given one to Dell and I've got one for my bits. So Dell's is jam-packed with stuff. I did ask him if he wanted me to organise his stuff, and he was like, no, it is all organised. I don't know what sort of method he uses for organising his things, but you know what? If he says they're organised, then they're organised, and we're just going to have to live with that, aren't we? While I've been off, I've been doing a lot of work on myself. Me and Dell have been talking quite a lot about why we're so different. Why does he need to hold on to everything? I need to get rid of everything. Why are we just so different? Why can I not stand the clutter and the chaos and all that? And actually, we've come up with a lot of things. And during this particular clean, there was a little bit of an aha moment. There really was. And it's put so many ducks in a row for me. Now, I'm not going to tell you just yet what that aha moment was. If you have watched my other video, the one with music, you probably will already know what that aha moment was. If you don't, do stay tuned, keep watching, and you'll find out what the aha moment was for me and for Dell. And it does mean that both of us now are, a little bit more understanding of ourselves and each other and how we communicate those differences, because that's a big thing too. How you communicate the differences and how you sympathetically, respond to each other. Now, I did think I had ADHD. I might still have ADHD. I have got the paperwork to do the assessment for it. But I kind of think a lot of it actually is just anxiety and the way not the way I was raised, but maybe the way I was raised, my history, the way I've coped with stuff in the past, that sort of thing. So I think that's a lot of it. Like, I think it was one of my shorts, one of my videos I posted. It could have been on TikTok. I don't know. But either way, I asked the question, what was wrong with me? When people are around, I have to just sit there. I can't clean, I can't organise, I can't tidy. Well, I figured out what the problem was. I finally figured it out. I know why I get this weird paralysis that means I can't do anything the minute somebody turns up at the house or someone is home with me. I know what it is. Now I know what it is, I can work towards fixing it. It's a long way. It's going to be hard. It's going to take a lot of mental reminders, but I know what that is. And like I say, I am going to tell you later on in the video. These drawers have driven me to distraction. There should be one for stationery, and this is the birthday drawer. So it's got all the balloons in it, the candles, the banners, decorations and all that stuff. Somehow it's become the overflow for this drawer, which is the DIY tools drawer. Why? I do know why. It's because you go out to the shed, you get something, you bring it in the house to do whatever project it is you're doing, and then instead of taking it back out to the shed, you just put it straight in the DIY drawer. Why not? And then the DIY drawer overflows into the birthday drawer. So when you come to look for candles or the banners or whatever it is you need, you can't find them. So we buy more candles and more banners. And then this drawer ends up overflowing and, well, it just isn't happening anymore. So I've gone through everything and everything has a place and a home now. The birthday drawer is filled with stuff that is for birthdays. And the DIY drawer has been cleared out and there is a load of stuff waiting to go out to the shed. Keep meaning to take it out to the shed. It's probably been, I don't know, maybe a week since I've done this video. And I haven't taken it out yet. I think it's because I am waiting for the rest of the stuff. I mean, if I declutter another room and I find more bits, it's not going to end up in the right place. So it will get done. It's probably sitting in the dining room with the rest of the bits. I am finding while I'm doing this really thorough declutter and clean and organisation that people seem to be joining me doing it. Like, I was clearing out the cupboard under the stairs and there's Dell's fishing bits in there. And he was like, oh, well, I'll get rid of that. Because he got it. He wanted to be the sort of person that on his day off or in the evenings and that would go fishing. Nothing wrong with that. Except that Dell isn't the sort of person that goes fishing. There's nothing wrong with either person, the fisher person or the non-fisher person, but he isn't the fishing sort of person. He doesn't have the time, he can't be bothered, it's just not him. And it's the same for me with my exercise equipment. I've got all this exercise equipment that I don't use. I've got a gym membership that I rarely use, because that's not me. That's not who I am. And I don't want to hold on anymore to all these things. I think that's a big thing in dealing with my mental health and the clutter in general is I've spent all this money on becoming a version of me that I want to be. But that's not who I am. I have this dream in my head of who I want to be. And that is not who I am. That's not where I am at the moment. So every time I see that gym equipment, I'm reminded that I'm not that person yet. And then I feel bad because I'm not the person I want to be and I've let myself down. Well, hang on a minute. How about I just focus on becoming the me that I am now, the person that I am? I don't know who I am at the moment. I literally, when I lived at home, I was a daughter and I had certain ways I had to behave at home. Then when I left home, I literally became pregnant not long after leaving home. So I went straight from being a daughter that had those set rules that daughters have, you don't get to find your identity. And then I became a wife and a mother very quickly. So I never got to find out who I was. And now, like I say, I keep doing all these things in the hopes I will become who I want to be. And I think it's much more important for me to find out who I am at the moment. And it's the same for Dell. He wants to be a certain person. I think it's way more important that he finds out who he is right now. So when I was younger, I did get to go to acting schools and things like that. I've always wanted to be an actress. Always wanted to be an actress on big screen, little screen, theatres, you name it. I want to be there. And I used to go to stage school. And now the kids are grown up and I have a bit of time to myself, I can go to acting school again. And actually, it's proven to be absolutely wonderful, wonderful therapy for me. Every time I'd go, it's such a relaxing environment. They're so friendly there, so accepting of you. And you get to pretend to be someone else for a little while and just, do your thing. So I went back to who I was the last time I remembered having any form of personality, any form of self-person, And I'm going to go back to that and I'm going to do things that make me happy now. And yes, that means getting rid of my exercise equipment. Maybe I'll need to rebuy it again. And that's fine. I can do that in future. Should I become the sort of person that wants to be a gym bunny or a fitness fanatic? Maybe I want to go and see a dietitian and find out exactly what foods I should be eating for my health and all that. And maybe one day that will be me. But for right now, I'm going to find out who the heck I am. Because I think it is really, really amazingly beneficial for our own mental health to discover who on earth we are. It's also really, really painful. If you wake up every single day and the first thing you see is that one thing that reminds you you're not the person who you wanted to be yet. It's like waking up and failing every morning. I wake up and I see the gym equipment, my gym clothes, and it's just a reminder that I don't go to the gym. It's just a reminder that I don't see my personal trainer, I don't eat healthy, I don't work out like I wanted to. And every day it's like a little kick up the bottom that just sort of says, you haven't become the person you wanted to be yet. And I don't have, for some people that's great, it's a kick up the bottom that says, you're not where you wanted to be yet, work harder. And it drives them. For me, it's not a drive. For me, it's like a kick up the bottom that says, you're not where you wanted to be yet. And I just get depressed. No, I'm not where I wanted to be and I'm never going to get where I want to go. And it's a failure before I've even started and I don't want that anymore. So I'm going to focus on who I am, where I'm going, and just play it from there. I want the me I am to grow. Myself and Dell Dell and myself have been working really hard these last few weeks while I've been off work. We find ourselves triggering each other. And I know the word trigger's been bandied about so much over social media these last few years that it's just like a buzzword now, isn't it? But Dell will do something that'll upset me, and then I'll fly off into a temper tantrum, and I'll do something that'll upset Dell, and he'll get all sulky and stroppy. He tends to be a quiet sulker. I tend to be a very loud, screamy, shouty, upset type sulker. But either way, we both get upset, and we've been really working on communication with each other. Like, I'll tell him, that really hurt me, and I don't think you meant to, and if you did, well, I need to know why you did, and we'll work through it. And actually, we're doing really well with that. He'll say something, and I'll explain to him what that hurt, and he'll actually listen. Instead of getting defensive and all angry and upset, he will actually listen. So not only are we decluttering the house and getting rid of all those reminders of who we're not, we're actually decluttering our brains a little bit as well, and finding out who we are and organising and tidying ourselves. So 2025, I hope, is going to be an absolute amazing year for getting our minds, our bodies and our home environment in a nice square place where we can flourish as the people we are, not the people we're supposed to be. It was actually one of those triggers that led to the revelation that I'm going to reveal later in this video. Dell said I did something that triggered Dell. Dell got upset and he got upset and he said some things that really upset me. And I was going to say some things that would really upset him. And instead I thought, no, he said some things that upset me. Let's talk to him and try and find out why he said that and why what I did upset him. So we talked it through, and actually it led to the massive revelations that I've had. It's been really, really beneficial. I can't wait to tell you. I'm not going to tell you yet though. I'm going to wait till we get to the part in the video where it actually happened, and then I will reveal it to you. Now, I think I've covered most of the things that I mentioned in the other video. And actually, it seems to have taken up less space than it has in this video. So I don't quite know what I said in the other video that I may have missed out. You can go and watch the other video. Like I say, the music in that one is slightly louder, so you do have to pay a bit more attention to what I'm saying to be able to hear it in the video. But clearly I said a lot more in the other video than I've said in this video, and I can't remember what any of that was. So yeah, do go and watch that other video and you'll get a little bit more information than you did in this one. But hey, maybe you got some more little bits of information in this video than you did in the other one. I don't know. Christmas presents. Right. My mother-in-law and my father-in-law come down after Christmas every year, and we do Christmas presents in January. So their presents are still, as you can see, in my living room, waiting for the gift exchange. We used to do it, when the kids were really little, like in car seats little, we did the gift exchange for Christmas. We used to go down to them. And sometimes my father-in-law, who used to be a postman, he would post the gifts down to us. But now it's just become a thing where they come down in the new year and we do the gift exchange down here in the new year. So yeah, it's always fun. It means Christmas lasts a bit longer as well, which is fantastic. Because, by lunchtime on Christmas Day, it's all over. You've opened all your presents and now it's just stuffing your face until Boxing Day, really. So the fact that we get to have another little mini Christmas a couple of weeks after the actual day is really nice. We get to enjoy a second Christmas. Although, to be fair, at the end of one year, the beginning of the next is always a really, really expensive time in our family. We've got birthdays in like October, November, December, and we've got Christmas in December as well. Then we've got birthday in January, we've got birthday in February, we've got Valentine's in February, we've got birthdays in March, and then I think April is the first time in the new year we can actually take a breath. So yeah, it's a very, very expensive couple of months. April, May, June, July, August, think September. Those are all the middle of the year is the bit where we don't have to spend so much on birthday presents. And then again, we get around to October, November, December, January, February, March. How many months is that? Hang on. I need my fingers to count. So October, November, December, January, February, March. Oh my goodness. Half the year, we've got all the birthdays. We've got Christmas and Valentine's Day. And then, and probably Easter. When's Easter? That could be in April. And Mother's Day. But either way, for 6 months of the year, we've got massive spending. And then for 6 months of the year, it's not too bad. We can actually relax and enjoy ourselves. So, yeah. Although, even saying that, I don't think there's a month where there isn't an event going on of some description. Oh, I don't know. Hallmark know how to make their money, don't they? I mean, even if you're not doing a Hallmark holiday, you've still got your own actual holidays. You've got wedding anniversaries. You've got christenings. There's always something to spend your money on, isn't there? And if it's not events and people in your life, it's your pets. I mean, you've got their like monthly pest control thing to keep up with, fleeing and worming. You've got their vaccinations. You've got all sorts of malarkey for them. I mean, we did used to get Buzz and Cass groomed. They were done at groomers. I think Cassie was done once. But yeah, because they were long haired, it's so hard to get them groomed. So that was another expense. Woody's great. Woody will hop in and out of the bath if you ask him. He's not a fan of being washed, but he'll put up with it. So yeah, he gets washed at home. He does need to go and have his nails trimmed. His nails grow really long, and where we are is just fields. So obviously the fields don't really sort of wear their nails down. They need to be sort of walked on concrete mortar, sort of file their nails down. So he needs to go for a nice little nail trim. When I'm going to get the money to do that, I don't know. They're not excessively long at the minute, but they need a quick trim up. Talking of health and beauty procedures, I kind of need some too. I don't need. I'm beautiful anyway. I want my eyebrows done. I appear to... Oh, that's something I discovered over Christmas. There's ginger in my family on my father's side. So my nan on my dad's side, there's ginger in her family. Now, none of us actually have like ginger hair. But I've always had kind of really pale, pasty eyebrows and burn in the sun very easily. And it's the ginger from my dad's side of the family. So there's something I never knew. But that is why I have really, really light eyebrows. So I'm planning on maybe getting my eyebrows shaped and tinted. I would also like to go and get a really nice haircut. Now, I've got a plan for a fair few different types of haircut, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to go for yet. But yeah, I'd like to get my hair cut. There's a fair few little things I want doing. Maybe some, like, you can get fake eyelashes that are like permanently or semi-permanently stuck on. I wouldn't mind those either. But we shall see. We shall see what I can get done later in the year once all these birthdays and Christmases and Valentine's Days like disappear for a while till next year. Now, in a minute, you're going to see me and Dell staring out the window because about here, I don't know if you're going to see it on camera. Shall we hang around and see if we notice it? There it is. Yep. The air source heat pump that we had is outside this window. And all of a sudden, this massive cloud of what I could only describe as smoke come belching out of it. Now, Dale reckoned it was probably steam. I know the difference between steam and smoke, and that was smoke. It was almost kind of like brick dust thick. You know, steam has kind of like a greyish, bluish, white kind of colour to it. And you can tell it's steam. It looks steamy. This was sort of a brownish, reddish kind of grey colour. And it looked more like a cloud of dust, and it definitely belched out of the air source heat pump, like fan thing that's outside in the garden. That bit's what's supposed to suck the air in, heat it up, and then pump that hot air around the house. And it's got a fan on it that blows out the cold air. They kind of explained it's like a fridge. Your fridge takes in the warm air, condenses it down and makes it cold or something. And this works on a separate principle. That's why the back of your fridge gets hot. Well, our air source heat pump unit works in reverse. It takes the cold out of the air, warms it up and sends it round. So it has to expel excess cold air, I think. Either way, when you walk past that air source heat pump, it is expelling cold air. And yeah, it gave out a massive woof of what appeared to be smoke. I said to Dale like it did it, and he came and had a look, but he couldn't see it happening again. But apparently it's done it on more than one occasion, so who knows? It could be perfectly normal, or it could be very, very not normal. Either way, who knows? They have insured it for us. Quite what will happen if it does go wrong, I don't know, because, well, I didn't really trust them to put it in the first place, so that if they're going to come out and fix it, I'm not entirely sure I trust that either. We did have a really nice guy came and knocked on the door one morning. He's like, I'm sorry to disturb you, but you've had the air source heating installed, haven't you? Yeah. How are you finding it? And we were like, well, in a word, awful. We've not been shown how to control it, so it is just on all the time. We can't control the temperature of it, so we set it to, let's say, I don't know, 20 degrees. And it will be 23 degrees in the house and the heating will still be on. Yet it's supposed to have this little thermostat thing on it that registers that it's at temperature, and it's supposed to automatically click the heating off. But it doesn't. So it's just on until it decides to turn itself off. We're supposed to be able to set like a little timer thing on it so it comes off for like an hour in the morning or a couple of hours in the evening or whatever, and can't do that. It does have a defrost cycle on it, so if it gets frosty outside, instead of heating the house, it runs a defrost cycle. So we're paying electric for this thing to defrost itself because it's outside. And we're not getting any benefit of it. So we wake up in the morning, it's absolutely freezing in the house because it's frozen outside. We're burning electric because the unit's running, but we're not feeling the benefit of the heat because it's thawing out. It sits outside where it freezes. You can't write it. It's absolutely hopeless. The heating does kick in eventually and it warms the house through, but yeah, it's hopeless. So we spent about an hour on the doorstep with this guy. He did say, I can't stay long. And I mean, he was lovely. I don't mind him staying, and we had a really good chat. And he actually got a lot of things kind of straight for us. He's given us the name of someone to speak to who will help us set the unit up and, regulate it so we can control the heating, control what time it comes on, and probably save ourselves a fortune. Because at the moment, we're putting around £80 a week on. We put £40 on Friday, and by the Tuesday or the Wednesday, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, by the Tuesday, we needed to put another £40 on. So yeah, we're getting through between £60 and £80 a week in electric. Now that's been put in. It's scary. But yeah, like I say, he has given us some numbers to ring. But he had a look at our unit. Now, he's got a 3-bed house the same as us. His unit has an external thermostat on it. And not an external thermostat, an external control panel. Ours doesn't. Ours is an internal control panel. Now, he's got one of those as well. I'm unclear as to why he's got an external control panel and we haven't. He also said his unit, his fan thingy outside that actually makes the the hot. He said his is bigger than ours, but he also has a 3-bedroom house. Now, at the time it was put in, we were told we'd be getting like solar panels to help us with the cost of this stuff. But yeah, they conveniently ran out of funding for that, didn't they? Hopefully next year they'll have funding and we'll be on the list to get these solar panels, because our neighbour, he must have got one of the last ones. He had the air source installed and he got the solar panels. Now, one of the things I said to them before they put it in was, really, if they're going to be put it in, I want solar panels because it's going to cost us a fortune to run. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll do it. But it was one of them things that wasn't put in writing anywhere. It was just one of those things you're told. And then, of course, you've got no proof. I can say they said anything, but, they just say, oh no, that's not what we said. That's not what we meant. Rah, rah, rah. And I was told a couple of times we'd be getting the solar panels to help with the costs. Like I say, hopefully we'll get them this year. They'll get more funding and then they can go in. Because it's costing us a fortune. If not, it's going to have to be something that we'll budget through throughout the year. So normally what happens is in the winter, we just work to the price of the electric. The more we use, the more we put on the prepay meter. In the summer, because that drops down, we stop putting so much on the meter. So we just pay for what we're using. What I want to do is during the summer months, if we keep putting money on it like we would during the winter, then come the winter we should have a nice cozy little backlog of money on there to cushion us through the winter. Because let's face it, during the winter you're getting sick a lot, aren't you? It just colds all going round, all the bills come in at once, and it'd be nice just to have that cost spread throughout the year rather than just dumped on you when you're paying for Christmas, birthdays, Valentine's and all sorts of other things. So yeah, I might do that and see what happens. She says, with all the confidence in the world that she's actually going to do it. I probably won't do it. And I'll probably be in the same boat as I am this year. Normally is the way it goes. Every year I say I'm going to do something different. Every year I don't. Every year I plan on next year I won't be in this mess. Next year this won't happen and that won't happen. And actually, no, every year's the same. I did actually watch this feng shui bloke on TikTok. Amazing. And our front door opened straight onto our stairway. And he said, that's really bad feng shui. It lets all the energy out of your home. It goes rushing out. And with all that energy goes luck, money, and all that stuff. Now, he did say there are a couple of ways you can stop this happening. But one of the ways he said to do it was to put coins in a certain pattern, either underneath a mat or underneath the carpeting at the bottom of your stairs. So, well, it's not going to hurt anybody if I do that. Give it a try, see what happens. So I didn't tell a soul. I didn't even tell my sister, and I tell her pretty much everything. I told no one that I was putting these coins under the carpet at the bottom of the stairs. Now, I put them in the certain pattern that you're supposed to. I popped the carpet back over the top of them and forgot all about them, to be fair. Not long after, Dale got his job, his full-time job, working, doing the toilets, and was earning really good money. I got my job where I am now, and I was earning really good money. And everything was going really good. We were affording stuff. We were living happy. I was going to the gym. Everything was working fine. Then the guys came to do the heating and everything went south fast. Dell's job's gone. I couldn't afford the gym anymore. My mental health started spiraling. I couldn't go to work anymore. It got horrible quick. Now, rocked round to New Year. There's a lot of traditions around New Year and I wanted to try and get them all done. And one of the traditions was to blow some cinnamon in through the front door. So me and Alyssa stood at the front door, blew a handful of cinnamon in. Oddly enough, she won £30 on the lottery, literally a couple of days after blowing the cinnamon in the front door. But we did that. And then I thought, I'll let them know about the coins under the carpet. So I pulled the carpet back to show them. And the weirdest thing had happened where the guys had come in to do the heating. Obviously, they'd taken all the carpet and whatnot up. And they'd laid it back down, but they'd laid it back down. And I know it was them laid it back down because they'd actually sort of pushed it underneath the stairs. The bottom of our stair carpet wasn't attached to anything. It was just a square. It may as well have been a doormat. It was just plopped at the bottom of the stairs. It wasn't attached. This time it had been sort of pushed under the stairs, so it had been wedged in like it was kind of attached. You know, like when carpet fitters come round to properly fit your carpet and they sort of stretch it and buff it underneath the skirting board? Well, that's how it had been at the bottom of the stairs. So it wasn't any of us put it back down. None of us went to that trouble to lay it in the first place. We're not going to do it now. So it must have been the carpet fitters. But the worst thing was my coins had gone. And I mean, I suspect, I can't prove anything and I'm not accusing, but it seems odd that they came, lifted the carpet, now my coins are missing and everything's gone to hell in a handbasket. I mean, make of that what you will. Like I say, I'm not accusing anybody. It could well have been somebody in the house that pulled the carpet up earlier before they got there and moved the coins. But I just find it very, very odd. So I may well go back and put the coins back under the carpet at the bottom of the stairs. I won't be telling anyone if I do or don't do it, but I'll let you know the results. If anything does happen, we'll see. But yeah, I like feng shui. It's very good. Anyway, this is the part of the video where you find out the revelation. Now, I've just picked up a packet of light bulbs that were on that shelf there, and I threw them away. Now, they have been sat in the cupboard since we moved in. We moved in like 2011, for goodness sake. They are covered in dust and cobwebs. We do not use them. And even if we do need to use it at some point, we could buy another one. It's not a problem. I'm just not holding on to stuff anymore that we don't use. It was a light bulb that belonged to either the cooker or the fridge. Now, since we've lived here, I think we've had at least 2 cookers, maybe the same fridges. So it might not even fit the cooker and fridge we currently have. But even the bulb goes in the oven or the bulb goes in the fridge. The worst that's going to happen if we don't get a replacement bulb is that the food will be in the dark. I don't think it minds. There are ovens where you can't see through the door. They don't have lights in them. They have a metal door. The door shuts. If you want to know if the food's ready, you open the door and you look in. Same with the fridge. If you're going to the fridge and it's the middle of the night and you're after, a snack, you're going to have the kitchen light on, aren't you? And the kitchen light will shine light into the fridge and you'll be able to see what you're getting out of the fridge. If it's the middle of the day, then it will be light enough for you to see in the fridge. And when the fridge door's closed, well, it's dark in there. The light doesn't stay on to keep the carrots company. I couldn't understand why he was so triggered. And he got very upset and he called me... Well, he called me my mum's name, which it was very triggering. And I got very upset as well. So we sat down and we had a very frank discussion about all this sort of stuff. And why we hold on to things, why we don't hold on to things and stuff like that. And it also led to the revelation of why I can't clean the house when people are there. It was my responsibility to look after people in my home. It was my fault if people were upset, hurting or whatever. So I sit with people and I won't leave them. Because if I leave them and something happens to them, it's my fault. I should have been there to look after them. And that's why I can't move when people are home. I have to stay with them in case they need me. Which is crazy, but it's what I've grown up knowing. So yeah, Del learned that it's okay to get rid of stuff. If we don't need it, use it or want it, we can always rebuy it back if we need to. And I know that sounds like a big waste of money. It really, really does. But it's better than filling the house with stuff we don't need. And this, guys, is the end result. A beautiful, clean, tidy, calm living room. All the cupboards are organised, clean and tidy. I can't wait for you to see the cupboard under the stairs. It's empty. I can fit my Hoover back under there. I do hope this video is a lot better without the music. For those of you that have said you didn't like the music video or is a bit too hard to hear. There you go, cupboard under the stairs, all beautiful. I will be back very soon with another video, and hopefully the music in that one will be a bit more tasteful and a bit quieter. But I will see you all again in the next video. Bye for now, guys.